I want to do something that I didn't think that I'd ever really do. I want to, as a European, take a moment to defend American cuisine. I believe, at least in Europe, that American cuisine gets quite a bad rap. So on this episode of what I'm tentatively calling The Hot Plate, let's talk American cuisine.
Yes, what is it?
A man on table 6 wants an eggless omelette.
So first off, alongside being a chef, I am also an avid food content watcher. I grew up watching things like Ready, Steady, Cook religiously. I remember watching the original MasterChef and the original Hell's Kitchen with Marco. I grew up knowing why Jay Rayner's face strikes fear and also excitement into the hearts of chefs everywhere. I believe this is relevant because I think through the years, people are very swayed by the food content that they watch. And that becomes more fast-paced with the advent of things like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Had to take off the hoodie. It's fucking roasting in Ireland. But the food media that we consume, I believe, has a very strong impact on our perception versus reality on what people eat. An old-style Gordon Ramsay show in the UK versus a Gordon Ramsay show in the US. Just using Gordon Ramsay as an example because he kind of bridges the gap between the two. In the UK episode of whatever it is, a challenge that may be set to the chefs is to create a 3-course meal, go out and source the ingredients, go to the farms, etc, etc. Whereas in the American show, they could have to jump into a giant pool with a load of balls with different ingredients written on the balls. Those are extreme examples of both sides, but they could both be the same style show. In Europe, cooking shows seem to be more based around the farm-to-table aspect of things. Europe tends to want to show off its livestock a little bit more and wants to really champion the organic side of it. Whereas American food shows, not all of them, but they will tend to lean a little bit more towards the spectacle of it. Try and make a 4-course meal while being pulled in different directions by 4 different elephants. On top of that, I do think that the viewership is also very different. In Europe, the people watching the food shows are usually a lot more into their food, like really into their cooking. Whereas American cooking shows kind of want to cast a wider net, leaning a little bit more into the entertainment side than the practical cooking side. Now, when you start talking about platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all of that, it's in a system that thrives off going that little bit faster. This then takes everything we just talked about when it comes to the TV shows and compounds it, meaning that you start getting people on TikTok who are really hobby cooks going into making their own sourdoughs, and then you get the entertainment side of it, taking a big tray, throwing some Velveeta and pasta into it and making a massive meal. Never mind the fact that America has some of the greatest chefs that have ever been and will ever be. You've got the unbelievable James Beard, a name now synonymous with quality and perfection. And then modern Michelin greats, Grant Acquis, Alice Waters. The list goes on and on and on. But because they're not on a show where you're trying to make a salad while doing a run through Takeshi's Castle, they're not in the forefront of the culinary mind. Now, I'm not in any way saying that this is a black and white situation. There are media on both sides that play to the opposite. The more whimsical in Europe, the more craft-based in America. And I do think that there is a beautiful meeting place in the middle. So in the UK and Europe, we have sorted food. Sorted food is incredibly entertaining, but also very informative. They do the crazy tasks, but are also champions of sustainability and organic food. And then in America, you have my other favourite, which is Mythical Kitchen, imparting quite a lot of really detailed knowledge under the guise of very fast-paced entertainment. Also, and this is my last point, we as humans tend to kind of make blanket assumptions about cuisine based on geography. I think in America you see the big bombastic kind of food and assume that every single state in America eats like that. The same assumptions are also made about things like Spain and Italy. I mean, for fuck's sake, a bolognese recipe changes every 5 feet in Italy. And that's amazing. But the same thing happens in America. They have some amazing regional cuisine. I suppose what I'm trying to say is just don't make assumptions. Anyway, if you in any way found this interesting, or if it sparked a conversation between you and your friends, don't forget to drop me a follow. A like and share is always appreciated, and I'll catch you on the next one.